Hello Libra, Libra Rising and Libra Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card forecast for the week starting December 12th, 2016. Quick reminder for you guys, your monthly astrology for December is found on the main channel page under a playlist of its very own, so if you want to check that out. And of course, if you want to ever get a session with me, you can always go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. There's links below. So, what is going on with the astrology this week? Well, a lot of this week is week-long energy. It's a very unique kind of situation where everything is lasting basically Sunday to Sunday. And all of this starts off with a full moon in Gemini in your 9th house of higher education, international affairs, multicultural exposure, worldliness, higher education, and your spiritual life, forming a lovely connection with Uranus, currently retrograde in your 7th house of partnerships. And this is a really interesting kind of angle to have because it's very supportive. And it's very supportive for anyone who is looking to bring a culmination to any kind of partnership that they may have, either a long-distance romance or maybe even a long-distance business partnership that you may be having. Maybe you've been having this online, maybe it's overseas. If we're looking to maybe even get some kind of way to close the gap in a long-distance relationship, this is a great angle for a lot of you. This is also a time to be on the lookout for an opportunity to maybe get closer to somebody that we are of the same spiritual or academic or scholarly ilk with, if we are in the same work program or in the same spiritual community and things along those lines. This is also a time, because of Uranus retrograde, where you may actually find love outside of your culture, okay, or outside of your nationality. And this could also apply to those of you who are currently coupled to find out that, your partner and you are starting to break some conventions this week. Sometimes we have to do what's right for us in our partnership and not necessarily just follow convention and tradition and consensus. And so a lot of that's going to be a big theme this week. It may not necessarily be something that a lot of people support or understand, especially if they're kind of operating more from cultural conditioning than their authentic selves, but you and your partner will know this is right for you. We also have all this week Saturn, the planet of structure, the planet of sometimes limitations, forming an alliance, a strong supportive energy all week with Jupiter in your sign. And this is coming from your 3rd house of communications. And when we have this alliance going on, you actually have somebody sort of, you have an opportunity, how I would phrase it, to sort of cement something that needs to lock in for a long time, whether this is a long-term agreement, a long-term contract. This could be peace being made in negotiations or debates on a legal or on a civil level, but it is all benefiting you. The 3rd house is also, the area that talks about how we, maybe make some peace or maybe even start to work on creating a better relationship with our closest siblings, our closest relatives, if things have been really tense lately or if there's been a bit of a distance, or maybe we haven't even been speaking at all. It could be a weird, out-of-the-blue kind of feeling to, to have a brother or a sister, or, whether in blood or in spirit, and yourself re-cementing a strong bond, even though, again, it may not have seemed likely in recent months or even years. So there is an opportunity to get those dialogues going again. Both people will be exposed to it, whether or not they're ready to be receptive to it. So what's going on with your cards then this week? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of Freyr, which is all about being able to actually find some peace and some contentment, but also noticing that maybe even a lot of financial or material solutions are coming from intangible rewards and intangible processes. The Freyr card talks about emotion being the most important currency for you this week, and you may notice that a lot of big wins are going to be coming to you on a personal level and on a professional level based on the alliances and the closeness of the friends that you keep or of the relationships that you keep. Okay, it's going to be very important to work on those things, because Freya is about bringing everything together, and bringing people together in a lot of ways, and then celebrating, I guess you could say, the abundance and security that comes from that. And so if we've been in a situation where everyone's kind of doing the looking out for number one thing, it's time to actually change the way we handle that priority, because it seems like a lot of this is going to be talking about teamwork. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the King of Cups upright. And again, we have a focus on somebody wanting to actually support you or help you in some way, just based on the fact that you are you. A lot of the times when you get the King of Cups here, we tend to see that it is the rapport that matters more than the resume. For those of you who are looking for a new job, people are going to be evaluating on how enjoyable you are going to be to work with, not necessarily, I guess you could say, technical qualifications. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we can schmooze our way into being a heart surgeon if we're not a doctor. But with the King of Cups upright, it does indicate that, people are willing to actually work with somebody they can work with, that they can like, who may actually just need to be kind of briefed on how the job works, more than somebody who's coming in ready and willing, but might not be an easy person to get along with. The King of Cups also shows up here where you're going to find out that somebody is working behind the scenes for you. The King of Cups can often show up as a water sign, a Cancer, Pisces, or a Scorpio, who may be offering you referrals, somebody who's doing the work of promoting you for you, behind your back. So this is actually going to have, again, more payoffs. And again, it's more on a social level that will turn into financial. For your communications with air, we do have the Ace of Swords upright. And this is an opportunity for a lot of Libras to start going from, from where, to go into a position of leadership, I guess you could say, when it comes to a social affair or maybe a family affair. The Ace of Swords upright is definitely saying that you're going to be put on notice to spearhead a group activity, or perhaps even a group chore or a group priority on behalf of your family, on behalf of your work group, on behalf of your school group. You're going to be sort of the acting representative. This card can often show up where we need to have alliances made as well this week. Even alliances with people you might think of as rivals, or people who might not necessarily be exact matches for the group that you are in. You may find out with the Ace of Swords upright that the person you think, or a person that you thought is your enemy, is not really your enemy either. So there may be some interesting peace. You may be turning an enemy into a friend, or a rival into a friend this week. For your challenge this week, though, with fire, we do have the Seven of Wands upright. And as this challenge, I kind of feel like, again, we're going back to resistance from the followers, or resistance from the people that we're leading, that we need to, again, make sure that they understand that sometimes we are making decisions that don't seem to sit right with our first impression, but they are better. Because sometimes with the Seven of Wands, we're talking about maintaining a strong position and learning to also be able to do what's right for all involved. And you can see this a lot in situations where perhaps a lot of folks look to a leader, in this case you, Libra, to make all the decisions that they want you to make, that they can make for themselves. And when you stop acting in their individual interests and you think about the many instead of the few, they are going to freak out a little bit, and so there may be a challenge with that. However, peer pressure to sort of, go back to, placating people is not right this week. We have to make sure that, again, if they see you making friends with people, or making alliances, or making diplomatic choices that, scare or intimidate them, educate them on the situation. Don't necessarily put them in, don't let them compromise the entire deal, or what could be good for all concerned, because they don't get it. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Eight of Pentacles upright. And this can actually be a really sweet card for those of you who are single and looking, because we have an opportunity for love possibly coming on the job. And this might be not even on your job. This might be on their job. This might be a situation where you meet somebody at their office, or again, we meet somebody through their team, or maybe even through somebody on your team. Typically with the Eight of Pentacles, though, we have to be doing something productive when we're meeting this person, or they will be doing something productive when we're meeting them as well. Because the Eight of Pentacles is, again, it's a card of work, but what I'm also seeing here, it's a card of invitations and a card of collaborations, which is a huge theme this week. For those of you who are currently coupled, the Eight of Pentacles upright says that your partner will actually volunteer to sort of be a surrogate for you, whether it is on the job or maybe even, with family and things along those lines. We have somebody, again, going out of their way to act on your behalf. Your partner may even be volunteering to, maybe in your eyes, take a bullet for you by taking on a task or maybe even a sensitive conversation that you know you need to have with somebody that you don't want to have, but your partner does it instead, and they might actually do a better job, so go ahead and let them. So that is your forecast, Libra. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.